Permit me, on a brief departure from my typical comedic videos, to provide a message to teenagers, especially like guys the ages of 14 through 18, which is a period of life that I was not very happy. It's the lowest point in my life. So this is prompted because there's a big dog taking a turd right there. This is like my 9th take, so I'm just going to not pay attention to that. This is prompted by a recent article I read where a local kid had been stockpiling weapons and was planning a Columbine-like thing. And okay, you can walk away from the turd now. And I thought, man, that's really sad. The guy's obviously, you know, in bad circumstance, or he's getting bullied, and he's like planning something horrible. But more likely, you get people that are, okay, we're going for a second loaf, that are depressed because they don't get along well with their parents, or because they're in a bad circumstance and they're miserable. And I've gone back and forth with a YouTuber that doesn't get along with his father and, you know, is feeling suicidal. And I talked yesterday with a friend of mine that works with kids these ages, and he was talking about a kid that had been so pressured by his father that the kid was suicidal, even though he was doing really well in school. It wasn't good enough. So I started thinking about when I was that age, and I didn't have a good relationship with my parents then. And if you'd told me then that I'd have as good a relationship with my folks as I do now, I probably wouldn't have believed you. But I guess there are just a few things that I just wanted to put out there in hopes that maybe somebody who is going through a tough time, and it is a tough time, like you've got the pressure of school, you've got the cliques forming, you've got the parents' expectation, you're trying to figure out who you are, you're trying to be an adult, your parents want what's best with you, but you know, they're probably not listening to you as well as they could, and vice versa. So what is it? So first of all, get help. You deserve it. Like, you owe it to yourself. So find some resource. I'll put links up if you guys know of any. Find a mentor. That can be really helpful. Somebody, you know, maybe your parents, or maybe not your parents, maybe some friend, but somebody that you can talk through this stuff with, so you're not like closing it all in. And then maybe it's chemical help you need. You know, sometimes depression is chemical. You can treat it and then free yourself up to be able to think of other things you can do besides medication to help yourself feel happier. On the subject of happiness, the trick is finding something that makes you happy long term instead of short term. So a lot of people at this age go to alcohol or drugs or virtual worlds to find temporary respite from the pressures they're feeling, but it's fleeting. It doesn't last. So it's all still there when you're done with that. So finding something that makes you really happy long term. And then this is really important. This is something that's kind of a lifelong challenge, is a lot of people view themselves and are only as happy as other people view them. So they get their self-worth externally, and then you're never happy. I mean, for example, if you get your self-worth from how well your parents think of you, or how good your grades are, or how popular you are, then you're ceding your control of your happiness to somebody else. So it's really hard to be happy. And this happens for adults too. I mean, their self-esteem is built on how well their job is going, how much money they make, how well they do on YouTube, or how many friends they have. But you got to find your happiness from within. Otherwise, you're not in control of that lever. Somebody else is, you know, you're a marionette. And then the last thing, and most importantly, is this is a phase. Like, this is a tough phase. And I love the advice, this too shall pass. Well, things are never as bad as they seem. But that is true. That is true. Life gets way more interesting. You get a lot more control of who you hang out with, where you live, where you work. And so you got good things to look forward to. And you deserve to be happy. So if you're not, get help and find ways to be happy. And maybe other people have even better advice. So maybe read some of the comments below and may get some ideas. Hope that helps.